Decision number two is to be successful. When I started and got born again, was taken to church by one of our lecturers then, and I attended the International Central Gospel Church, ICGC, and I'm still a member of the ICGC at Christ Temple East. My head pastor is Dr. Mensa Otabel, and you know, I attended the church for the first time. Now, after church, I saw children holding iPad. Then I saw people like cars, like luxury. I saw people eating. Like the whole environment was so infectious positively. I was like, how come children are holding iPad and I can't even afford a mobile phone? Boy, gotta become successful. It's possible to be successful. So I decided that I need to be successful. But the question is, successful doing what? So I sat down and asked myself, what would I be successful doing? Okay, I cannot be a hawker. I cannot sell things. I cannot be a storekeeper. I cannot be a bartender forever. I cannot be a truck pusher. Heck, I cannot go to the military or the police because of my height and probably my body structure. I cannot do all that. But then I realized that I can be a world-class educator, a world-class teacher. So be careful here. You want to become successful, you need to ask yourself, successful doing what? And so you need to take away all the clutters. So I decided right from that point that I want to be a world-class educator. Now, this is important because when you decide that you want to become successful, you need to choose one path and be perfect in that path until later on, decades after, you can begin to diverse into other fields. One of the errors that people commit a lot is they want to become successful, but they are suffering from what is called the shining object syndrome. What does that mean? It means today they are this, tomorrow they are that. Today they are pursuing this, tomorrow they are pursuing that. You cannot do that and become successful. It's not going to happen. So I decided that I want to become a world-class educator. Why? Because at that time, I loved teaching. It was something that I was doing. I was doing that part-time to be able to help me get some money and pay for my fees, buy books, and other things. So I realized that, okay, probably this is what God has called me to do. So if I'm going to be successful, I want to be a world-class educator. But this is where the journey gets interesting. If I want to be a world-class educator, I asked myself, how can I become a world-class educator? This is a billion-dollar question. How can I become a world-class educator? So a couple of things came up. Remember, these that I'm sharing with you is from an article that I published some years ago, and I'm going to be leaving it in the description of the video so that, or in the comment section, so that you can read a full article on our website, and you're going to love the article when you read it. So I realized that if I have to be a world-class educator, then I need to have emotional intelligence. I need to study tremendously and teach convincingly. I must become a published author with books that my students will use. I must be known, and not just be known by people in class. I must be known globally. That is why I started social media over a decade ago and started posting content online, on Facebook especially, over a decade ago, because I need to be known not just by a handful of people in my neighborhood, in my family, in my class. I need to be known by the world at large, and Facebook was there, technology is there. What do? Leverage on it. Then I must understand mindset. That is how people think and how they do their things. So if I want to become a world-class educator, I have to be great. I must have emotional intelligence. I must study well. I must understand people's mindset. I must know how to communicate, channel my thoughts, channel my things, know how to present things under various circumstances to be successful. But that is how I will become a world-class educator. Then I asked myself another question, because you see, It is not just about how do I become successful. It is also important to find out what are the things that could hinder you from becoming successful. And this is something people don't look at in the very beginning of their journey of becoming successful. So I sat down and asked myself, what can stop me from becoming a world class educator? Stay with me carefully. I want to be a world class educator. What could stop me? And I came up with a couple of things. Number one, evil or wrong association, evil or unrighteous behaviors, lack of the spirit of excellence in my life. Because one of the things that I saw from the very first day I attended church at the International Central Gospel Church, Christ Temple, was the level of excellence in everything that was done. From the music, instruments, preaching of the word by Dr. Mensa Otabel. I mean, the level of excellence was everywhere. So I realized that, okay, if I also want to be world class and become like Dr. Mensa Otabel one day, excellence must be there. So lack of the spirit of excellence will make me not to get there. Next one, chasing after ladies or women because of little success. This is also another trap, because I realized that when people begin to become successful, they begin to make some coins, some little money, especially if you're a guy, they'll begin to attract women. They begin to attract ladies. You see, it's not that ladies like money, but you see, ladies want security. They want safety. They want assurance. And so when people are starting to become successful, you will be attracting beautiful ladies who would want to spend time with you, who want to be around you. But that is going to be your downfall if you don't cut it out. Because I had read history and I continue to study history, that many people in history that came down, that couldn't reach their goals, was partly because of their involvement with women. And so I realized that chasing women cannot be the thing. And so one of the ways that I dealt around that was an advice that one of my lecturers gave to us. It was a whole class, but I picked it and I took it at heart very well. He was like, hey, listen, the ladies you are in class with are not going to be your girlfriends, your wives. So forget about them. But most importantly, work on yourself. When you become successful, you will attract the best women to come around you. So for some reason, I liked that idea. I was like, okay, so I don't have to chase, right? So I just have to position myself, be exceptionally great, be good at what I do, and they will rather come. Years later, I heard Morgan Freeman sharing that same ideology about why a guy, you're not supposed to chase girls, but rather work on yourself, become a better version of yourself, and you will attract the best woman to come around you that will blow your mind. So I realized I cannot go after women. So I need to forget about girls, stay single. And in another episode of the podcast, I'm going to be sharing with you some reasons why you need to be single as an individual so that you can really build yourself up and become successful. And I'm going to share that with you in another podcast. Then, lack of understanding of money and wealth creation. Because how can I be successful if I don't understand money, if I don't understand wealth creation? So I became really hungry for knowledge about money, for knowledge about wealth, how money works, how to make money, how to keep money, how to multiply money. I needed to know that. Then the spirit of greediness and jealousy, that is also something that can prevent you from achieving your goals as an individual. So I realized that, okay, if that is the case, I'm not going to be jealous. I'm not going to be greedy. Whatever that is that I deserve, I'm going to receive it. I will look at people's success and let that inspire me to work hard. But I will never look at someone's success and lust, quote unquote, on that to make me think evil of them. So these are some of the things that I came up with of what could prevent me from becoming a world-class educator. So, number one, to be born again. Number two, to be successful. Be successful doing what? Become a world class educator. How can I become a world class educator? I got the answers. What will prevent me from becoming a world class educator? I got the answers. In your own life, sit down right now and ask yourself, what are the things that I'm doing? What do I want to become? Yes, you want to become successful, right? But successful doing what? Find it out. Fine tune it. That is the starting of the journey. But then don't end there. Sit down and ask yourself, what are the things that may prevent me from achieving this goal, from achieving this dream? Sit down, write it out, identify it.